Hello, everyone. Good evening, and some people have maybe good morning, and some people have good afternoon. Okay, so I wrote this book, started in 2020. 21, I think 2021 I start. Why I wrote this book? Many reasons. I wrote 10 reasons and stated in my book. 10, that means 10 short chapters have give the 10 reasons. I don't talk all of them today, but one of the reason because, everybody have a different view of Tantra. And so the new for Tantra people or old come from where is originate the Tantra come from. All of them have different perception of Tantra. So I feel is not understanding the essence, or even maybe you some of them you understand maybe essence, but not focusing the essence. Maybe some claim, okay, say we focus on essence, but is you're not emphasizing essence. So that means many misconceptions of Tantra and many limited perceptions of Tantra and many unlimited conceptions about Tantra. So I feel the reason is not extremely success Tantra is the not focus on the essence, not emphasize on the essence and lost in the details. So that's I feel. And also many misconduct come through the Tantrayana. Also, I fear because not understanding the essence and not focusing the most important essence. That's I feel. That's why I wrote. And for new people, maybe not too difficult to convince, but is maybe it's difficult to convince those who are Vajrayana country like Tibet, Bhutan, Mongolia, Himalayas, for them. So I made the topic and made this I don't know you call thesis, but this article I wrote for Vajrayana conference in Bhutan in 2022, which means that the 70 countries of the scholars attend. So they choose this subject. I give them option, they choose this subject. So I talk there because I want the critical point of view. I want to tell for the scholars in front of scholars, so then they can correct me, and I beg to correct me. So nobody said anything. So I hoped that good sign. But more practically talking about is what you may think, what is the essence then? What is the essence of the Tantra practice? The essence is anything we born with. Everybody born with love, compassion, all good things. Of course, you don't need abundance of them. Definitely, you need to increase and you need to purify them. You need to refresh them. You need, reconstruct them a much better way and develop a limitless way. But we born with anger and hatred, and we born with desire and attachment, jealous and everything. This is the most religion, something not acceptable, right? And is no value on anger and desire, or this is too much, this is bad, like unethical, blah blah. So the very unique thing is the Tantra essence is say no. All of them have value. Okay, all of them have value. Your anger, your desire, everything have value. And you don't need abandon any of this. Also, you cannot abandon because you are born with. So this is innate qualities. So that's why I emphasize on that. So everything you can take as a path, you don't need abandon. The Vajrayana study properly, those all people know that. And the same time, we don't focus on that. We focus in, many different deities, many different protectors, many different, like the rituals, many different symbols, blah, 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 mantras, blah, blah, blah. But you not focus on the essence. What you already have. You born with anger, you born with desire. And why you not working on that? It's working on that means it's not about you eliminate your anger, you eliminate your desire, which is Sutrayana path. It's not Tantrayana path. And that's why it's even I'm come from Tibet and I study in Tibet. All my knowledge come from Tibet. Yet when I look back, and then I feel many things. Oh, this is not right, and this is not good enough, And then that's why I criticize back to Tibet equally. Otherwise, it sounds like I'm a bias, So I'm a bias, but I'm not biased. I want to tell just the truth, not blah, blah, and talking around, like politically correct. That's not good enough. If we have to have incredible, tremendous benefit, we have to tell the truth. We have to bring the issue, whatever is issue, we have to bring the issue and we have to point to that directly. And then we have to real value, real essence of the Tantrayana pointing out. That's I feel. So that's why I wrote this book. So that means this part of book is more scholarly, critical, how usually people think, those who new to the Tantrayana or those who originate from Tantrayana, such like India. So like India, they have culture is like Tantrayana flavor. They have the culture with you don't need learn, you just learning born with culture at Tantrayana flavor. The same time they don't understand the essence. Okay, so those things I point out. And Tibet, they dedicate a whole life in the Tantrayana, and all the temples, the symbol, everything, the interestment, the rituals, everything is Tantrayana. The same time, value is not so much Tantrayana, more Sutrayana. So these kind of like contradictions are brought up. And then in the West, like for those who new to the Tantrayana, and then you sexualize everything, Tantrayana, you sexualize everything. You think the sexuality is the only Tantrayana. So Tantrayana is much, much bigger than this. So that's why I make distinguishes these things and everything critical way to tell the truth. Without cultural influence, without habituation influence, just the straight way go the truth. So that's why I present. But that is a minority of this book, part of the book. The majority of the book is a practical level. How we take as anger as a part, how we use always we have problem ones, anger leads their problems, and jealous leads the problems, pain, everything, how we use this are beneficial without abandoning, without eliminating. So that is a focus. But then I talk much more desire and much more sexuality, because that is everybody live with, the not only sexual desire, but the desire, many types of desire, we live it. For instance, we don't angry on 24 hours, but we have a desire, many different types of desire, almost 24 hours, So that's why most important is desire. That's why I call the part of desire. And then the sexuality desire is one of the most powerful of these desire. So that's why I emphasize that as well. So that is all of them is a practical level, what we do, So, and then may you want to know how we, control the anger and how we make beneficial our anger in each. So that is quite is obvious if we think carefully, because our anger very limited. We have very limited anger. Okay, so that means you only angry something you are feel safe. You are angry only that time, and something is far more danger. You don't have anger. So that's why actually we don't need to eliminate anger. We need to increase anger, because anger has such power and energy. You're energized and powerful. So that's why sometimes you shy. If you're angry, you're not going to shy anymore, right? And sometimes you're scared a little bit, and if you're able to angry, you're not scared anymore. So we are living such incredible fear. People, living in a fear, shy, whatever we call it, different names of our incapacity. We are not capable of things. Everything is the root by fear. But if you have so much anger, you are liberated this feeling of fear, insecurity, So that's why we need much more anger. But Sutrayana say, oh, you can't be angry, but you can't eliminate anger. You just suppress, and then one day you just blow up. Blow up means you can't control. The anger controls you, which means it is very dangerous tool you cannot control, and you just killed by the tool, machine, powerful machine tool. So like this, that's why I tell how we use anger as beneficial as our tool. You know how to use this tool very well. So if the very simple version, I say, you drive like car or tractor or airplane or anything, if you don't know how to drive, and then extremely dangerous, but not dangerous, so many people and love the car and love the tools because you know how to use them. So that's why I say anger is no need to eliminate. And the desire is even more, because desire means you interested and you are inspired, basically. You are attracted something, means is directly bring you a happiness and a joy. So that's why it's a desire you don't need to eliminate. You need to increase your desire. Even better. So that's why, and then the quantity size, our desire all the time, not anger, not need anger all the time, but we need desire all the time. Different types of desire we need all the time. Because desire is the root of your determination, enthusiasm, and your this, inspiration, attractive, everything. So that's why it's so important, desire. So then, if you know very well how desire has taken part, that means you know very well the essence of Tantra. Even you don't know too many deities, even you don't know too many mandalas, even you don't know too many rituals, even you don't know too many mantras, or anything, still you know very well the Tantra. But if you don't know these things, then some people just thousands, like 100 centuries practice Tantra, supposed to practice Tantra, but not getting anywhere. So which means you didn't know the essence, the most important essence you lose. So that's why I pointing out that what is the real heart of the Tantra? Real heart of Tantra, anything we born with, we don't need abandon. We know how to manage our valuable qualities or the valuable tools we know how to use very well. That's all we need to do. So to do this, if you don't talk too much details, then of course people don't understand. Some people, you just say a few words, maybe they get it very quickly. But for some people, you need talk much more details and many examples and everything. So that's why it takes like 400 pages of this book. Then I have to point out a different culture, different concept, why they think very differently and how come. Because people have so much different, imagination, assuming points, always leading misconception. So that's why I just tell what the truth, why people think this way. Because because this concern to me is like many years since I study. There's some things not 100% right. There is some things not 100% doing well. How come? Many years my analyzation, and then with experience, all together, then I really want this book because I believe this is more beneficial than anything else. So that's why I cannot even write in English first because I have to express my, this very clearly. So I have to use my first language in Tibetan, and then we translate it. So yeah, that's why it's also there's many things you stir up many things, like usually people just assume everybody habituated and they think, oh, this way, but it's not. Then you have to make more precise explanation, otherwise not easily understand, So that's why I wrote, longer explanation, short explanation, and then make each one is small poems. And then, because different people have different communication. Some people can get short verses like poem. They can get that way, but some people get other way. So some people need long explanation. Some people can't stand the long explanation. They want a short, quick. So that's why I try to use all of them there. So, yeah. So if you have any question, you're welcome.
Anyone has any questions?
Okay. So maybe this is not specific to Tantric, but you mentioned, the lady who introduced you mentioned that you had the opportunity to go to multiple monasteries and at least spend some time with different kinds of practices. I'm just curious, as you thought through what you want to focus on, how did you think through and decide what particular path you would prefer to focus on?
I don't think we need different path. We don't need different path. We don't need new path. Okay. So, yes, I went to all different Tibetan traditions, all of them. From my young age, before monk, I engaged with them. And then after monk, I went to all of them because when you're a monk, not a monk, you study differently, you focus differently. I went to all of them. And then the last one, I went to Chonang tradition. And then I found the teacher I find is I feel incredibly different. And so all my understanding with this teacher is incredible improved. And then I feel very, very inspired. And then I practiced Kalachakra with him a 3-year retreat. So then I thought this is the best I found path. So with my experience, that time I didn't too much intellect details. I didn't study too much. But with my experience, this is it's not a question, but for me, is this best? So then I continue, and then then I continue, just stick with this. And then I come to India, and I went to the Buddha's, the sacred places. 3 years I meditated most of the time, these holy places by myself. So that time, even much more clarify everything, and I have many visions and many things. Then I feel dedicated, to learn another language, and then I want to transfer more largely, because I know only Tibetan. At that time, I'm already reached 40, so it's extremely difficult to learn new language and such profound dharma to translate and talk in this. But I'm still not doing well, but just my determination cannot stop. So I just focus on my English later on after since 2003-4, end of 2003, and then I focus English, just the communication. I'm not do very well to write or grammar or punctuation. Like this. How to say the prepositions, and that you can see my English not correct. It's not perfect at all. But I feel I don't have time anything else. Just communicate this, because I want this such important teachings to transfer all the world. I have to know better language than just Tibetan. So that's why I did it together. Yeah.
Because I would have asked you whether you had any thoughts of kind of exploring some of the approaches that you left behind, but I guess you decided that your time is best spent getting deep into the choice that you made and then communicating that experience and that path to other people, which is laudable. And your English is amazing. So maybe the diligence that you applied to your meditation has carried over to your practices in English as well.
Thank you so much, Rinpoche. Earlier, you mentioned about increasing desire and increasing anger, and it just like manage them well. Do you mean by like holding it from a place of understanding shunyata well, like understanding non-duality well? Or it doesn't matter, like it's okay for like increasing desire, increasing anger from a self-grasping perspective?
Yes, if you understand emptiness, if I understand the selflessness of person, selflessness of phenomenon, and then you know how to increase the desire, and that's incredible. That's incredible. But even you not fully understanding emptiness or selflessness, anything, but you just know how to manage my anger, my desire alone is incredible, valuable to the focus Tantra and the path. That's the real essence. So then which means you don't need abandon anything. The most difficult is the Sutayana path. When we say, anger no good, desire no good, some degree people understand, but some degree really don't understand. And that's why it's so difficult. Everybody, years and years, still just progress so slow because of that. So that's why if you understand that's why, Tantrayana we consider very fast. The Sutayana we say is 3 countless eons, which means countless means is 60 zeros. It's not innumerable, but it's still 60 zeros 3 times eon. That's a lot. But there's still, after that, you have to join Tantrayana empowerment, they say. Even Sutayana say you have to do that, otherwise you never reach a full enlightenment. So that's why I think in Tantrayana they suggest the most fast time, even in the Shambhala, like the 1 year, the 35 million sages reach Buddhahood, and 1 year, like that. So the first full moon of Nakpadawa is receive the empowerment, and then the next year full moon they all reach they say the ultimate union, which means the Buddhahood. So like that, because you don't need abandon anything, you all innate qualities are you recognize it. The 5 Buddha families or 6 Buddha families, depend how you describe. So that means you not necessarily from beginning you have to realize the anger is on the desire is a deity, but how you start is you know how to manage them very well, and you know how to increase them, very well. That's all.
Rinpoche will do an online question. So this person's asking, okay, so now if they've, practically speaking, if they raise their anger to try to help work with it, but then get possessed by anger or have spontaneous angry moments, that causes contributes to like the unhappiness of other beings. Like, how do they deal with it? Like, how can they really raise their anger and then deal if they have like these crazy outbursts in the process?
You manage anger very well means you know exactly when you need angry. And you know exactly how much degree of anger you need. You know very well, and that time you can be angry. For instance, if we are in the forest by self, if you have one tool, just knife, and then let's say 10 bears run onto you, how much anger you need? We need anger much more bigger than usually you angry with the family and friends. We need 100 times angry. Okay? If you have that angry, you have that energy, the 10 bears cannot defeat you. Okay? Bears also have fear. Their anger is not limit. Their anger is also limit, not limitless. Okay? So that's why I saw this, Tibetans always say, oh, lion is the what do you call? The king of the jungle. No, lion have no fears anybody, or animals, he kill and he no fear, zero, like this. But I saw in documents, even buffaloes they kill, the lion, and it's I saw many other animals fighting for lion. So Tibetan poems and even Janton, or most of the Janton, they call lion's roar. So that means indefeatable. But I wrote my Janton, I said, the victory of, what do you call it? Slat Kardam, so which means never defeated by demigods. Okay, the gods never defeated by demigods. So I wrote like this. I didn't write lion. I was so happy. I didn't write lion. So like that. So we have to have that huge anger. We know exactly when we use. Okay, but when you shouldn't use that time, you anger means you didn't practice Tantra.
Thank you for your talk, Rinpoche. So my question is kind of, I assume there's probably a lot of Tantra practitioners in this crowd and watching, but I think there's probably a lot of people here who maybe aren't practicing Tantra and they're not maybe initiated into some kind of Buddha practice. Can this book still help people in their daily life, even if maybe they're not Buddhist or consider themselves a Tantra practitioner?
Yeah. Yes, they can. Anybody, the Tantra doesn't have to be Buddhist. Anybody, you don't have to, you believers, non-believers, anybody can practice, no problem. But you can't expect the same degree of suitability, because this is a culture, and this concept is. I consider myself not Buddhist, not sure, but it still is too much Buddhist influence, right? So that's why my sources is where I refer or distance is Buddhism. So that's why if someone Buddhist is more easier to relate it. The others for a little bit harder, but it is anybody can do. Yeah.
Thank you, Rinpoche. You mentioned in the beginning of your talk that you had shared the book with scholars and in Bhutan and Tibet. What are you hoping will happen within the monastic community and the scholastics with your book? What changes are you hoping to see over time?
My hope is reform the Buddhism, reform everybody's religion, reform their practices, and they shift focus and they shift emphasis. That's my hope. Hope is very big.
Rinpoche, an online question's asking, generally we get run over by our anger and desire. How do these Buddha families help us to not make it worse by increasing the energy of desire and anger?
Increasing energy, anger, you mean?
Yeah, they're asking how do the Buddha families help with these emotions?
Oh. So you don't have to think about Buddha families somewhere else, and they help us, come and help us, increase our anger energy. You have to think about my anger is Buddha. Okay, my anger is Buddha. I just have to learn how I connect very well my Buddha nature. So you have to think that. And how you increase is, the bodhicitta. So when you have the view is like Tantrayana view, or Tantrayana view, to more connected with the Buddha nature, and at least minimum you believe Buddha nature. And that's why you believe your teacher and the guru is a manifestation of. It's not dependent how your guru is talented, or how your guru is talented and how superior. It's not dependent on that. And like how you say, only you need guru is better than myself. but the spiritual wise more than me. Everyone is like this. You treat is like a guru, which means you treat is like your teacher. Basically, you open to learn from any of this, and even the similar of you ones you see as a companion to the enlightenment, and then all sentient beings you see is the object of your increasing bodhicitta, Okay, so increasing bodhicitta means the sentient beings are innumerable anyway. Then that means you have chance your motivation is innumerable and limitless. So that is activate. That's mental bodhicitta activates our body. How do you say the bodhicitta? So that's body bodhicitta. This increase your energy, and then your whenever you need anger or desire, everything increase. Yeah.
Another online question, just a logistics one. The book is not a textbook, so it's not like the Unveiling Your Sacred Truth series. It doesn't have exercises or meditations in it. It is more like a cross between a book for regular people and then one that can also appeal to the scholastics, because it has a lot of scholarly quotes and footnotes for those who really want to dive deeper scholastically. But it is not the textbook style that the Unveiling Your Sacred Truth series is. And then Rinpoche, another thing that seems to be coming up, a theme in the question that maybe you could help address, is we're Western. So when someone tells us that we need to, work with desire well, or work with anger well, or jealousy well, and maximize it, but still work well, everybody almost expects like, okay, you either have to not do it or you have to do it perfectly, where you have like huge perfection of massive jealousy, but somehow aren't swept away and know how to work it. So a lot of the questions are anxiety around, what if we try this and obviously we're not perfect. So what to do?
Yeah, that's also I talk a lot, because some cultures like Tibetans, they, in outside, if you look at the Tibetans, then Tibetans, Tantrayana Buddhism, Tibetan Buddhism, Tantrayana Buddhism, like that. But inside, they just kind of, Tantrayana, they have incredible faith in the worship, but they don't take it as, like in daily life, and for yourself, for your anger and your desire is a Tantrayana path. They don't take that way, majority of them. I'm not saying nobody. Of course, some great ones, yes, but the majority don't take that way. Instead, worship somewhere very, very far away. You just worship them, like treat like God, The Christian and the Christian and the Muslim, everybody how treated God, like the worship somewhere far away, worship. It's similar like this, so that's why I'm saying, no, not that way. So, this way, you have to be this way. And you don't have to expect you're going to do perfect. You start means you accept your mistakes. You can accept many times you fail. What's the problem? Every single thing we learn from fail, again, better. We learn that way. So why you expect is something have to be perfect, So that is your perfection is eventually you're going to become a perfect. Also, you learn from somewhere, and somewhere have to start. So I talk that way, Yeah.
Hi, thank you, Rinpoche. I was wondering if you could talk about the connection between the sort of patriarchal society, and because in your book you talk a lot about how many religions have this problem of like pushing away women and also kind of pushing away life. And I was wondering if you could talk about that connection, because it's worldwide, it seems like.
Yes, yes, yes. This I talk a lot. I talk a lot already. I talk a lot in the book. This is easy to talk for me because of I have, you know, in myself I have very, how to say, a very respected view to the females. You know, why? Because I have such great experiences from the women, from the from my childhood until now. Some few exceptions, of course, not perfect, but it's individuals. But the majority of women is I have very good experience. So that's why for me it's very easy to say, and so. Some reason I born in Tibet, like I born like I don't know. Some reason I born like a different, even how do you say? For instance, in Tibet, the women, Tibetan, I can say, or Tibetan also is a patriotic society. Patriotic society. I admit that, patriotic society, not the worst one, but it's still patriotic society. But the Tibetan woman is unbelievable, unconditionally loving and nurturing everybody, not just the family, but everybody, so that's why whenever I go, wherever I visit, I just feel all of them like mother, So that's why I never had any, bad develops, any view to the woman and like that. And also when I become a monk, then, like the best is like the old woman you have to think of like your sister and mother like that. So it's not like even the other relationship. You have to think like that. So I did this, I would say very well. So that is easier for me, very easy for me think like that, so like that. And then, then monasteries, there's not many opportunities to interact with women at all. But then I come out of the monastery and, come to India, come to the West. I always with women, because of the Dharma, in monastery, they say, oh, no woman here, and they just make boundaries. But then anywhere else you go, any Dharma activities, the majority is always women. So the majority of women, I always had, like such good experience. So that's why it's for me is always. I always like a woman side in Tibet, even in Tibet, like. When I go puja, for instance, when I go puja in the family, they say of sang, sang, which means burn and like things to offering to the local deities like this. They say, oh, the sang burn, the bushes men have to cut, and then this roast barley, other things, men have to do because usually women do. Men have to do, or this one cannot women do, is a men have to do. Means man is superior, more, I don't know, more pure, or I don't know what it means. So to me, it doesn't make sense. Even I born that culture, doesn't make sense. So then men to go outside, go bush, cut the bushes. Then women, I tell them, roast barley. I tell them, I against them and say, roast barley. The women say, oh, we cannot roast because we are women. Why women cannot? I say, okay, because when we fire puja, we put butter and these things inside. I said, who made butter? I said, who made butter? Because women milk them, and then they did everything, 100% woman made, men never touch. Then this butter can go inside the fire, but the barley cannot go. It doesn't make any sense because woman touched. I say, no. They say, oh, no, yes, you do it. because women do much better, because all the time women roast the barley and making powder to eat zamba, and men never do this usually. And the fire they try to do this and they burn everything and they cannot do it. So I just always let women do it, please do it. And then men come, oh, who did this barley? Then the woman say, oh, I did because the monk told me I do it, Okay, I did, yes. What was wrong? What is the problem? I say, who did this butter? Woman did. Where we are living the tent, made by yak here. Who did this? Woman made. Woman made everything, just like this. No make sense, nonsense things. I fought all the time. I have a lot of stories this, so I'm going to write in my book.
Okay. Rinpoche, it's been an hour, so we're definitely going along on time. Is there any other questions in the room before? Okay.
Since becoming a Buddha means accumulation of all merit and cleanse like all defilements, so and then it's like the accumulation of merit and wisdom. Would it be skillful or beneficial for people to practice Tantra if they have little merit?
Yes, in Sutayana say we have to eliminate all defilement, but in the Tantrayana there's nothing you eliminate, because all is Buddha nature. So you don't need any eliminate. Just only on the path we have a bad habit to not be controlled by. Basically we have no free, because these ones control. Then we don't know how to manage. So that's the only problem. So that's why you learn first how to manage, and then eventually you don't have. That means you don't need to abandon anything. Your expensive tools and car or all these things, you don't need abandon at all. You just need how to use very well. Same thing. Yeah. So such little merit, you say little merit. I mean, if it's little merit, they don't understand Tantra, and then they don't agree with this, and that means you have little merit and you don't practice anyway. But if you feel okay, that means you had merit.
When one of the online questions was read, it mentioned that in your book, it's not a textbook per se, as apparently some of your other work has been. And the gentleman back there spoke about, people who are not that conversant with some of the practices. How do they, will the book be useful for them? For myself, I find that it's much easier for me to identify shortcomings in my thinking, my approach, my behavior, than to do anything about them. Doing things about them is the hard part. Do you feel that if one wants to do to attempt some progress in some of the concepts that you have raised, that not getting rid of your anger, but managing it, managing desire, anger, etc., as tools more than things that take yourself over? Is your book is it a useful starting point to get one going, or do you feel that to make meaningful progress one really needs to have a teacher and work with the teacher to progress?
No need teacher for reading my book. I purposely wrote a book for anybody can start anywhere. They feel comfortable. I can start from anywhere, So if you have teacher that helps, but the teacher, if it's not qualified, as like my book, does not help you, even can be obstacle. So that's why no requirement you have to have teacher. You read this first, and then you need how you feel. Yeah. Then you feel, oh yes, this much makes sense. Then then you can see, is any teacher more than you and book, somebody knows more than you and book, then you can take that teacher. But until then, you don't need teacher.
Thank you so much, Rinpoche. And again, for anyone in the book, Rinpoche also does quote a lot of sources in the book, and even points out that they were written in a time that they're from the point of view of men because of the history and the time. So he mentions this in the book quite a bit. And it goes step by step to say you can start anywhere. And there is a section towards the end of the book about guru and the guru-disciple relationship, and sort of how to think about that, what to look for. So it's kind of, as Rinpoche said, you don't need to have one to start on the book.
Yeah, this book is like more practical point I wrote. Even I'm critical and try to do some scholars arguing. Also, like try to bring into the practical way, because they're talking on the sky and never come nothing, here, on the table. Like that things I say, oh, come on, come in here, because this like that way. So that's why I have one chapter is how to be happy, really happy, enjoy life. How to be, that's one chapter, and then when we say happy, it's not on one, but degree of happy. If you're already happy, then more happier. How? What conditions we need, like that. And then I put this guru and student relationship, because I see I see there is so much nonsense going on, this teacher and relationship, because there's limited understanding, there's misunderstanding, there is literal understanding. The main problem is literal understanding. Something's literal, people took the literal, and then they don't know the whole picture, and then they have many confusions, So that's why I made there something understandable or flexible, like that. Okay, thank you.